going drifting in a couple of days, but before we do, there's a few maintenance things we need to do to Sally beforehand. One of them is replacing some bolts that have fallen out of the front end, just things holding up the light and the intercooler, as well as do an oil change and do some strip and fits on some wheels and tires. One of the things is the bracket for the headlight came off because the bolts came off, so the headlight is just chilling, and as well the bolts on the bottom of the intercooler, I don't know if you can see, but it's a bit wobbly, so we're just going to secure that again. Before we start though, I got some packages. The SP Tours sent me this brand new Agadaga gun. The reason why I really wanted this Agadaga gun was because it came with 2 batteries and it was lightweight, and as well it's got 970 Newton meters of bolt busting torque, whereas my old one here only had 400 Newton meters of torque, so that's just not gonna cut it anymore. So that's why I got this one. The reason I wanted a higher Newton meter power Agadaga gun was because my old one really struggled to get off old seized bolts and just started taking off the twin plate clutch. I'm going to use this new SP Tools gun on the flywheel bolts just to show you guys how powerful this thing is. Like, it's just effortless. Ooh, fancy. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. That's so cool. It's so light though. Let me just put this down. That's so nice. Ready? It feels really good. This one's like tight, whereas the old one, I don't know if you can hear, but it's real like clicky, whereas this is like, ooh. Look at that. You can see when this one's really heavy when I like, yeah, and then ready. This is cool. And you can definitely tell like I'm not struggling to hold this one as much, whereas this one I wouldn't dare. This is the old one. Look at how much smaller it is compared to the old one. And the battery's more powerful too, so it'll last longer for those 3-day track weekends that I do. I think I opened it upside down. I didn't realize there was a logo on the back. That was very underwhelming. Moving on, they sent me a socket set as well because I kind of wanted something compact to take to the track on the smaller events that I do. They kind of had a bit of everything in it, so that's why I got one of these. So the reason I like this set is because it's 12 point, and the way the socket is designed, it takes the load off the corners and puts it more evenly around the whole bolt, if that makes sense, so making it less likely that you'll strip something. Okay, let's see. I wonder if I'm opening this one upside down as well. I really like the orange color. Let's sit it back on here so we don't damage anything. This is my first look at it as well, so let's see. It's got a little handle. Ooh. Ooh. That's nice. What have we got in here? These are useful. I don't have any of these at all. I got none of these. Socket Allen keys. I'm really excited about these because I don't own any of these, so these will be super helpful. They're like an Allen key inbuilt into a socket, if you guys don't know. Then we've got all the sockets, millimeter sockets, and then here we got all the inch sockets as well. This is my old socket bucket that I take to the track usually. This is the old handle I usually use. The ratchet mechanism is dying, so you'll be pushing full push and it'll just click open and you'll hit your knuckles on stuff. They sent me this little mini one as well. It's so cute. Let's put a little mini socket on it. Oh, look at how mini. Listen. Doesn't that sound so good? Anyway, back to the oil change. Just jacking the car up now so I can get to the sump bolt. It's so heavy. Also, you know how I said I was going to fix my headlight? I broke it. I pulled the... You can see I have rib nuts there to like put the bolts into, if that makes sense. I pulled the rib nut out on accident, so that's a job for another day. I'm going to finish doing the oil change because that's the more important thing to do first. Just cracked the sump bolt loose and whacked my hand. I don't have an oil bucket because I ran over the last one on accident. Just gonna slide this under, and now it's finger tight, so I'm just gonna undo it. And as you undo it, you want to kind of push back up into the sump. That way you're like not getting oil over your fingers, if that makes sense. The reason for the oil change, although it might look nice and gold and like it hasn't been used, sorry for the focusing issue, but because of the E85, it's actually gone extremely thin. It's lost its viscosity. You can see it dripping really badly, so that's why we do oil changes so often in performance cars, if you didn't know. So I'm putting Penrite Racing 10/10 oil back into this thing. I did a video on one of my last oil changes why I use this oil. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. Just gonna go ahead and fill it out. I think it takes like 5 liters, I think. It's a new day now, and I've got 2 Bossman tires. You can't see, but I'm at Bossman tires now, getting my tires stripped and fit. The next thing on the to-do list when I get home is to fix that headlight that I broke the rib nut for, and as well reseal the diff hat, which I probably won't film because I want to just get it done ASAP. Yeah, let's head on inside Bossman, and I'll just show you guys what I'm bringing here to get stripped and fit. So I'm getting two of the chromies and 2 of these Kawamis from ECSTATIK. So 4 altogether, swapped into some Greenlanders. Next on the maintenance list of things to do, we've got these quick release bumper things that I am going to put on the front bumper here because the zip ties keep snapping in here and they're hard to get to, so I'll just put them here. Already marked out the holes, and I've got the trusty drill here. I'm just going to drill out the holes really quick. Ta-da! So we put them on an angle because we kind of want it to pull in and up at the same time. We want to just get the quick release and put the Allen key in it, and then at the back you'll put this and then the nut. So you want to just chuck that in, then get your arm up behind here if you can. My arm is up behind there, so now just attaching the nut to the back. Get my stumpy 10mm and stick it on the nut at the back, and then my rusty Allen key, and just tighten it up from the front while holding the nut at the back. Sturdy. And I dropped it. We're going to do the same thing with the other one. Chuck that in the front. Washer on the back. This one was extra fidgety because it was in a really tight spot. But that's tight. They do give you some rubber bands to use with this, but I don't like using the rubber bands because they're weak. By weak, I mean saggy, but these zip ties, if you do them up tight, they don't really sag, whereas the bands, because it's just a cheap kit, they do sag. So I just put 2 zip ties together and cut the end off one. You don't have to do this if you have long zip ties. And then just put it around them. Just pull it to your desired tightness. That's pretty much it. It's nice and sturdy. It's held up. It's really tight, as you can see. It's not going to go anywhere, but if you do hit something hard, usually these zip ties will just snap off and save your bumper. Next on the list of things for maintenance to do before the event is to reseal the diff hat, but the event is in 1 day, so I'm going to do it the dirtiest and laziest way possible, which is to find where the leak is, clean it with the greaser, and just reseal it on the outside until I can pull it out and seal it properly after this event. Not exactly sure where I left off, but we are here at Queensland Raceway. It's about 3 o'clock, so we're an hour early, but we wanted to beat the traffic because we're coming from north side. You can see the Ipswich Motorsport Racing sign. Just gonna wait out here, maybe have a nap in the car for an hour, and then head in and get all set up for Friday night. Just got inside. I signed on. I'm gonna unload now, and then go and do my scrutineering. I got stuck at the drags. The drags were on beforehand. so I went and I had a bit of a chat to ASG and had a bit of a look there. So we're a bit late now, considering I was like 3 hours early. Now I'm like an hour late. But I'm gonna go unload Scrutiny and I'll be back. Had to visit the canteen and get a coffee. I'm just sharing it because I don't want to have a shaking fit in the car while I'm driving. It's like 10 minutes left now until driving starts. I'm gonna go warm my car up, check it over, make sure all the fluids are good, and then jump in. So basically I just got towed off. There's no oil pressure. Thank God for Haltech. Yeah, thank God for Haltech. So like low oil pressure just as I finished my lap. I'll insert the video. You can see the warning come up on the dash. I shut the car off instantly and I got towed in the pits here, and the first thing I wanted to do was to check if there was any oil in the bay. There wasn't. There was no oil under the car, so I checked the top end in the oil fill cap where the cams are, and the cams are dry. So hopefully we saved the bottom end, and the cams don't look marked, so thank God for Haltech. I'm manning the winch. My pit rats are going to connect it and then we're going to winch it up so we don't damage it. So I'm going to show you guys, when I first got in, I popped this off just to check because I thought that's going to be a telltale sign. Yeah, it's dry. But you can see that the cams aren't, I don't know if you can see, but you can see the cams aren't marked, which is good. And there's still a tiny little bit of oil, so I'm hoping I shut it off quick enough to not have any damage inside. So definitely can't thank Haltech enough for them sponsoring me, giving me these products that literally help save my motor. Like without the Haltech gear, it would die, because I used to have an ECU that was very basic and it didn't have any warnings or anything like that. So that's actually how my last engine blew up. There was no warning and I kept going and I blew it up. So very, very grateful to have a product that literally helped save my engine. Sally is all loaded now and ready to go home. So look forward to the next video where hopefully I will be pulling the engine out, and hopefully there's not too much damage, but definitely again very grateful to Haltech, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.